Excuse me, Dad. You mean your daughter, the princess, will serve food at a roadside joint? I don't even cook at home. Then Joseph will wash cars. Prince will be a mechanic. Dad, this must be a joke because I am not in for this rubbish. You are still speaking English, Sandra. By the time hunger eats you hard, you will understand better. I don't care, Mom. All I know is that I'm not born to suffer. I am born to enjoy, and so it must remain. In the heart of Lagos, where the rich lived in grand estates and the poor struggled to survive, there was a billionaire named Mr. Uchenna. He had everything a man could wish for: wealth, businesses, and a beautiful wife, Mrs. Ife. But one thing troubled him: his three children. Sandra, his first daughter, was obsessed with social media and luxury. She believed money was meant to be spent, not earned. Joseph, the second child, saw himself as a prince. He refused to do anything but enjoy life, carrying women, spending at parties. Prince, the last born, lived in the world of video games. To work, that was just a foreign concept to him. One day, Mr. Uchenna sat in his grand living room, shaking his head as he watched his children argue. Sandra started, "Dad, I need 500,000 naira to upgrade my phone. This one is outdated." Joseph turned to Sandra. "Ha! Sandra, what do you mean by 500,000? Me, I need 2 million naira. Oh. I just saw a wristwatch that matches my new shoes. By the time I wear that wristwatch, everybody will know that this is indeed a billionaire's son." Then Prince walked in. "Since we are requesting, me too, I need a new PlayStation. This one is stressing me, Dad." Mr. Uchenna stared at them. "Wait, you all are grown-ups, not children, and none of you thinks of making money? All what you guys think of is spending money." Sandra turned to her dad. "Daddy, isn't that why we are born into wealth? What's the point of being rich if we can't enjoy? Please, Dad, I need 500,000. I don't know what you're talking about making money. Make money for what? I am born to spend money." Joseph answered sharply, "Exactly. Imagine me, a billionaire's son, working. Dad, that's an abomination. I can't even work. Me work. For what? Only beggars work. Only poor people work. Billionaires do not work." Prince quickly added, "I even saw a video of rich kids flipping burgers in America. I almost fainted. How can billionaire children be working? That's too disgusting. I can't even imagine myself working." Mr. Uchenna said to himself, "So if I die today, all this money will disappear within a week. These children don't know the value of hard work." He thought of what to do next. Mr. Uchenna's children were not just lazy, they were rude. They saw themselves as royalty and treated the house staffs like slaves. One morning, Sandra sat in the living room scrolling through her phone. The maid, Auntie Grace, was mopping the floor when Sandra suddenly screamed, "Ha! Auntie Grace, are you blind? You almost splashed water on my designer slippers. Can't you see? You are becoming irritating to me." Auntie Grace looked at her with tired eyes. "Ah, sorry, madam, but I have to clean the floor." "Shut up! Do you even know how much these slippers cost? If one drop of dirty water touches it, your salary for 20 years cannot even pay for the damage. Don't be pathetic, you lazy idiot." "I'm sorry, ma'am," Auntie Grace said. "Sorry for your smelly self. Quickly clean this place and get out of my sight, you old witch." Joseph walked in holding a glass of juice. He took one sip and frowned. Hmm, this juice is not cold enough. It even tastes expired. Who puts this nonsense in the fridge? The cook, Mama Bisi, sighed. Sir, the fridge is working fine. I don't know what happened. Joseph East. Shut up! You people are so lazy. Must I tell you that rich people, when I mean rich people, I mean billionaires, drink only ice cold juice. This is why you people are poor. People don't have common sense. When you are senseless, you are poor. Prince, who was lying on the couch playing video games, suddenly shouted, NEPA! The lights just blinked. The driver, Babatunde, laughed. No, sir, young master, that's not NEPA. Maybe your game just glitched. Prince shot him a deadly glare. You think you are smart, old man. If you knew anything about technology, would you be driving cars for a living? We keep quiet and go and wash the car. I'm going out. I'm going out to get a new set of PS station. The workers exchanged glances. They had endured enough insults from these spoiled brats. At the back of the house, the workers gather to gossip after being insulted. The cook hissed, did you hear what that Sandra told me this morning? Madam, this rice is too oily. No wonder you are always sweating like a frying pan. Imagine, am I the one that told her to sit at home and eat all day? The driver laughed. You are lucky. Imagine small Joseph looked at me and said, why are you still driving this old car? You have been here for years, yet you can't afford a better one. As if I'm working here for fun. I have a family to take care of. The cleaner folding her arms said, you people should thank your stars. That prince told me if you were smart, you wouldn't be cleaning floors for a living. I wanted to remind him that if his father stops feeding him, even a rat will have more money than him. Don't mind them. They talk as if life is easy. As the workers were still laughing and gossiping about Sandra, Joseph, and Prince, Sandra suddenly storms in, her arms crossed, face full of attitude. Oh wow, look at this gathering of jobless people. You all have so much time to gossip about your bosses, eh? The cook adjusting a wrapper. Madam Sandra, we were just discussing. Shut up! Discussing what? Sandra rolling her eyes. How to remain poor forever? No wonder you all are still stuck in this house, doing the same low-class jobs my father pays you, yet you act like you own the place. The driver muttering, but without us, who will cook your food, clean your mess, and drive you around? Sandra laughed mockingly. Please, as if you work so hard. You think driving is difficult? Anyone can do it. No wonder none of you will ever be successful. The security guard chuckled. Success? Ma'am, you talk like you've ever worked a day in your life. Sandra looked at him angrily. And you think you are successful? Standing at one's gate for 12 hours like a statue. Maybe that's why your father was also a useless security man and your mother was probably a roadside beggar. The other workers froze. The security guard's smile fades instantly. What did you just say? Stepping forward, Sandra smirked. Oh, you heard me. Or are your ears as useless as your job? Security guard looking furious and pointing at her. If you weren't Oga Uchena's daughter, I swear I would have beaten you up to a pulp. He raised his hand slightly, his whole body shaking with rage. It is if he entered. What is going on here? The worker stepped back while Sandra rolls her eyes dramatically. Nothing, Mom. This security man just doesn't know his place. Madam, with all due respect, your daughter insulted my parents. I have worked here for years, but today I almost lost my temper. Mrs. Ife shocked, turning to Sandra. Sandra, is this true? So, he was talking back to me. Should I respect a common security guard? Mrs. Ife said firmly. Sandra, apologize now. Mom, I don't apologize. Billionaires do not apologize. Sandra, I said apologize now, Mrs. Ife said sternly. Sandra sighs dramatically, rolling her eyes. Fine, sorry, whatever. Security guard still angry. Madam, I work hard for my family. I may not be rich, but I have dignity. Next time I won't tolerate such insults. Mrs. Ife nodded sincerely. I understand. I apologize on her behalf. I'm so sorry. Please, everyone, get back to work. I will handle this. That evening, in Mr. Uchena's study, Mrs. Ife storms in looking frustrated. Mr. Uchenna is seated in his large leather chair, sipping a glass of juice while reading the newspaper. Mrs. Ife dropping into a chair. Honey, we have a big problem. Mr. Uchenna raising an eyebrow, still focused on his newspaper. Which problem, my love? Is it the economy or fuel scarcity? Forget economy, it's our children. They have no home training, no respect, no discipline. Mr. Uchenna finally looking up. Ha! What happened again? Did Sandra finish her monthly allowance in 2 days? Mrs. Ife shaking her head. Honey, is worse. She insulted the security guard's parents today. She called his father useless and said his mother was a beggar. Mr. Uchenna frowning. What? In this same house that I built with sweat and discipline? Mrs. Ife nodding quickly. Yes, and Joseph and Prince, they are no better. They have no idea what hard work means. Honey, if we don't act fast, these children will be useless adults. Mr. Uchenna sighed, rubbing his forehead. I knew we spoiled them, but I didn't know it was this bad. Mrs. Ife leaning forward. Very bad. Imagine Sandra saying she can never walk like poor people. Joseph said he's allergic to stress. Prince, he thinks money just appears in the bank. Mr. Uchenna, deep in thought. Maybe it's time they learn that life is not a fairy tale. Yes, honey, but how? Mrs. Ife asked. We will teach them a lesson they will never forget. Since they think working is easy, let them work. Mrs. Ife frowning slightly. How do you mean? Mr. Uchenna smirked. We will pretend to be broke, cut off their allowances, no more luxury, no more servants doing everything for them. And on top of that, we send them to real jobs. My honey, you are a genius. Mr. Uchenna sitting back satisfied. They will learn the value of hard work or they will learn nothing at all. Mrs. Ife smiling. Honey, I love this plan. Our children must suffer small. They exchange a knowing look. Their minds already set on teaching their children the greatest lesson of their lives. The front door burst open as Mr. Uchenna and Mrs. Ife rush in, looking distressed. Mrs. Ife is crying loudly, her wrapper almost falling off as she grabs her husband's shirt. You caused it, Uchenna. You caused it. Ha! My life is finished. Uchenna, oh, what have you done to your family? Hey! Mr. Uchenna breathing heavily, clutching his chest. Ife, please, let me think. My head is hot. Don't come and add to my own wahala. Stop touching me. Stop dragging me. I'm not in the mood for all of this. Sandra, Joseph, and Prince rushed downstairs, looking confused. Sandra folding her arms. What is going on here? Joseph yawning. I was about to take a nap, and now there's noise everywhere. What's going on? Prince rubbing his eyes. Did somebody die? What's with all this drama? Mrs. Ife pointing at Mr. Uchenna, still crying. Ask your father. Ask your father. He has ruined us. He has ruined us. He has failed us. Sandra gasping, eyes wide. Wait, what do you mean by ruined us, Mom? I don't understand. How? Mr. Uchenna clearing his throat. Everybody calm down. Let me call the staff first. He pulls out his phones and dials a number. Within minutes, the cook, driver, gardener, cleaner, and security guard all gather in the living room looking concerned. The driver removing his cap. Oga, you called us. Mr. Uchenna rubbing his hands together. Yes, I just want to thank all of you for your years of service. You all have been dedicated, committed, and you all have been as a family to me. We appreciate your service, but unfortunately, we will no longer be needing your services anymore. The staff exchanged shocked glances. Ah, Oga, what happened? Did we do something wrong? The cleaner said, begging. Is Madam angry with us? Sandra rolling her eyes, cutting in excitedly. Oh, please stop begging. Our Canadian visas are finally out. We are relocating to Canada, so we don't need all these your local services anymore. She flips her braids and smiles proudly. Joseph and Prince nodded in agreement. Mr. Uchenna and Mrs. Ife slowly turned to her, their faces blank. Canada? Mrs. Ife said, raising an eyebrow. Mr. Uchenna blinking in confusion. Visas. Sandra grinning from ear to ear. Yes, Daddy. Just tell them now. No need to make it look like you are firing them. Just say we are relocating. Mr. Uchenna sighed dramatically, shaking his head. Ha, Sandra! If only you knew what happened. Please, my people, we are not relocating anywhere. Oh. We are broke. No more money. We can't afford to pay you anymore. Joseph, chuckling nervously. Wait, Dad. You mean broke, like fake broke or real broke? What do you mean by fake broke or real broke? Does broke have original and counterfeit? I said we are broke. Prince laughing awkwardly. No, Daddy. You must be joking, right? Sandra looking horrified. Broke, as in no more money, no more shopping, no more weekend flights to Dubai, no more spa days. Dad, this must be a joke. The security guard crossing his arms. Oga, are you really saying we should pack our things and go? Mr. Uchenna nodded firmly. Yes, I wish I could keep paying you all, but the truth is there is no money. Chai, so this is how my daily jollof rice job ends. The cook sighing dramatically. The cleaner wiping her tears. No more washing this golden toilet. No more scrubbing floors where Madame Perfume alone can buy land. The driver shaking his head. No more driving small Madame Sandra to do her nails in another state. Joseph panicking. Dad, so who's going to drive me to my friend's birthday tomorrow? The dad responded, you better start learning how to trek. Prince muttering to himself, so no more chef-made breakfast, no more fresh juice in bed. My dear, better learn how to start cooking indomie, the mom responded. One by one, the staff picked up their things and left their house. Early the next morning, loud banging is heard from the children's rooms. Mr. Uchenna shouting, wake up, everybody pack your things, we are leaving this house. Sandra, Joseph and Prince grudgingly stepped out of their rooms, still in their sick pajamas. Daddy, please, what's all this noise? Can't the new maids do the packing? Exactly, we need sleep, Joseph responded, stretching. Mrs. Ife, arms crossed. No maids, no servants, pack your bags now. Sandra blinking. Pack our bags to where? Mr. Uchenna answered, my dear children, since we are broke, we've lost everything. We can't live in this mansion. The owners of this mansion, they are coming. We are moving to our new home. Joseph laughing nervously. New home? You mean a smaller mansion or a penthouse? Mr. Uchenna smiling wider. You will see, just pack your things. Confused but too sleepy to argue, the children lazily throw clothes into their designer suitcases. Within an hour, Mr. Uchenna loads everything into an old pickup truck. The children stare at the vehicle like it's a foreign object. Sandra shocked. Wait, what is this? Where is the Rolls Royce? Where is the Bentley? Mr. Uchenna climbing into the truck. My dear, we are broke. No more luxury. Prince stepping back. I think I will walk. Mrs. Ife snapping her fingers. Enter this truck before I drag you. Grumbling, the children squeeze themselves into the back seats. The pickup truck roars to life with a loud grrrr sound, spitting smoke as it moves down the street. The truck stops in front of an old small house with peeling paint, cracked windows, and a rusty gate. Goats wander nearby. The air smells of roasted corn and firewood. Sandra gasping, "What is this?" Joseph blinking rapidly. "This can't be it. Maybe we are here to visit someone." Prince whispering in horror, "This looks like my driver's village house." Mr. Uchenna grinning proudly, "Welcome to your new home." The children stand frozen. A woman selling groundnuts by the roadside waves at them. "Good afternoon, new neighbors. Hope you like it here." Oh. Neighbors? Mrs. Ify clapping her hands. "Yes, so we have neighbors now. Come down and carry your bags." Sandra whining, "Mom, my heels can't touch this dirty floor." Joseph grumbling. Mr. Uchenna laughing. "You better get used to this place. This is your new life." The children finally stepped out of the truck, looking around in horror as a group of children in torn shorts and oversized slippers watched them curiously. The next morning, the Uchenna children wake up in their tiny room, their stomachs rumbling. The once spoiled rich kids who used to wake up to servants bringing them breakfast now have nothing. Sandra groaning, "I'm so hungry, Mom. What's for breakfast?" "There's no food, my dear." "No food? What do you mean no food? Where is the cook?" Prince asks angrily. "Where is the bread, tea, eggs, and juice?" Mr. Uchenna calmly drinking plain water. "My son, there is no food. If you want to eat, go and walk." Oh. Sandra shouting, "Walk? Daddy, are you joking?" Mrs. Ify replied, "No, my dear, your father is not joking. There is no money. If you want food, you must walk." The children look at each other horrified. "So this is how poor people suffer? This is wickedness." Joseph holding his stomach. "I will die of hunger, oh." Prince shaking his head. "No, Dad, I cannot walk." "Then you remain hungry, oh." But then they look at their growling stomachs. The hunger finally won. "Okay, we will walk." Oh God, this is so hard. Where do we even start from? The next day, Sandra got a job at a local food joint. She's now wearing an old apron, stands behind a wooden table, serving food. The market women quickly recognize her and begin to laugh. "Ah, Sandra, the billionaire daughter, is now selling food. Wonders shall never end." "Abeg, give me rice. Use your billionaire hands to serve me well." Another customer laughing. "Sandra had extra meat for me. Your father has plenty money, right?" Sandra got offended. "Please shut up and eat your food. You are getting me angry." Her madam, Mama Ikechi, shouted at Sandra. "Hey, if you talk to my customers like that again, I will sack you. Poor girl. Get out." Sandra suddenly remembered how she treated her father's staffs when they were in money. She started crying and wished she could turn back the hands of time. Joseph, on the other hand, found a job at the car wash. He is forced to wash cars under the hot sun. He scrubs a car angrily when an old school friend arrives in a big jeep. "Joseph, you are washing cars? Ha! Life is funny. Ha! Billionaire son. This is serious, so please watch my car very well, oh. If not, I will report you to your boss." Other customers laughing. "Spray the water well." Joseph clenched his fist, embarrassed and furious, but continues washing. His body is covered in sweat and his hands ache. Even Prince started working in a workshop. He's not left out. They begin to regret what they did to people and wished they never did all of those things. That evening, the three siblings meet at home, exhausted, covered in dirt, oil, and sweat. They sit on the floor, miserable. Sandra groaning, "Ha! I regret my life." Joseph wiping sweat from his forehead. "People are mocking us everywhere." Even small boys are laughing at me. Prince slammed his fist on the ground. Sandra folding her arms. I thought poverty was just about not having money. I did not know it came with embarrassment. Joseph nodding his head. Now I see why daddy said we must learn. Prince quietly said, this suffering is too much, but I think I understand now. We were so rude to people. Now we know how it feels. 3 years later, the once spoiled children, now responsible young adults, they sit in their small house counting their earnings. Their hands are rough from years of hard work, but their hearts are full of wisdom. Sandra smiling as she counts money. Can you believe it? We actually made this much today. Joseph grinning. From washing cars to owning my own small car wash business. Life is funny oh. Prince stretching. I fixed 5 motorcycles today. My customers trust me now. Mrs. Ife wiping her tears. My children, you are taking care of us now. You've changed so much. Mr. Uchenna nodding proudly. I'm proud of you all. You've learned the true value of life. Sandra smiling softly. Yes, Daddy, we now understand. We were so foolish before, treating people like they were nothing. But now we respect everyone. Joseph in a serious tone. I used to insult drivers and car washers. Now I work with them. I see how hard they struggle every day. And I understand now that dignity isn't about money, it's about hard work and respect. Mr. Uchenna clears his throat. He looks at his wife, then at his children. There is something we must tell you. Sandra raising an eyebrow. What is it, Daddy? You see, my children, we were never actually broke. The room falls silent. The children stare at their parents, confused. Wait, what? Mom, what do you mean? They asked. Mr. Uchenna smiling slightly. We planned everything. We faked being broke so that you could learn the value of life. We still have our wealth. Sandra standing up suddenly. You mean all the suffering was a setup? Joseph's eyes wide. You watched us starve. You let us struggle. Prince shouting. Do you know how many times I wanted to run away? How could you do this? Mrs. Ife looked at them. Because we love you. We wanted you to grow into responsible people. The children are silent. Then slowly, realization dawns on their faces. Wait, we actually made something out of nothing. Joseph nodding slowly. We built ourselves up with our own hands. We don't even need daddy's money anymore. We have our own. Mr. Uchenna smiled brightly. Exactly. Now, you are not just rich by inheritance. You are rich by hard work. Sandra shaking her head, then laughing. Daddy, this was wicked, but we respect you for it. They all laugh, hugging their parents. The family moves back to their mansion, but this time the children are different. They visit all the people they once insulted to make things right. Back at the mansion, the siblings sit at the reflecting on everything. Sandra smiling. When I have my children, I will make sure they respect everyone, no matter their status. And I will never take people for granted again. Prince smirking. Well, at least now I can afford to pay someone else and work for my own money. They all laugh, happy and grateful for the lessons life has taught them. Dear story lovers, thank you for staying till this moment. You all are the real MVPs. What lesson did you learn? Share your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome. Thank you for always supporting. God bless you all. This story teaches us a powerful lesson. After years of struggle, the kids change from being irresponsible to responsible children. Not just that, their parents revealed the truth and the family reunited stronger than ever. Thank you for always being here. See you in the next one. For now, bye.